We need to talk that lineage talk. We over here in another Juneteenth effect, but it looked like it's got co-op a lot. So we coming in here with some different kind of questions, and we want the right answers.
Right. All right. So what my brother meant to say was with Florida Reparations Compliance Committee. My name is David Smith, also known as Brother Sankofa. We got our other brothers here also who are members of the organization, and our purpose is to promote awareness as well as promote policy around reparations within the state of Florida. Now, just by a show of hands, how many people have heard of reparations? Yeah. Okay. How many of y'all actually qualify for reparations in the U.S.? All right. So we believe that reparations is lineage-based, meaning that, you know, here in this country to the U.S., there's a specific justice claim that is due to the descendants of those of us who come from, you know, chattel slavery, U.S. chattel slavery, to be specific. So that's one of the points that we actually push when we go around the state for different events. We do our Florida pull-ups. These are things that happens around the country as well, but we just, you know, we kind of take care of the state of Florida. So lineage-based is one point of reparations. When anybody's coming to you, any politician or anybody that's pushing reparations, we got to make sure that the language is right and that it's done properly. Also, direct cash payments. If you owe me money, I don't want you giving me food stamps. I don't want you, you know, giving me a loan, or I don't want you giving me a scholarship or none of that. I want my money in cash. Direct cash payments of reparations. So that is why we push this. That's why we promote the awareness. Another thing when I was talking about lineage is delineation. Us as Black Americans understanding that we are a unique and specific ethnic group. When I travel around this event, as well as in Central Florida period, we got a lot of diversity here among, you know, melanated people. You will see Haitian flags, you'll see Jamaican flags. That's why we brought our Black American Heritage flag as well, so that we can all understand that we are of a unique and specific ethnicity. And I would like to also encourage those of us who are here who do come from different lineages, like if you're a Haitian American, Jamaican American, or if your people come from Barbados or whatever, it's important that you support Black Americans in our fight for. I can't name every island brother. I mean, see how people get by being represented? That's why I want to make sure we're all represented. Thank you, brother. So, like I was saying though, it's very important. I appreciate that. It's very important that you do support your Black American brothers and sisters in our fight for reparations, because it is about what's doing what's right. It's about a justice claim, and we do want the prosperity of this country, but first you got to pay the people back who built this country. That's what Juneteenth is about, celebrating our ancestors. Edenville was founded on these principles, and I'm so glad the brother came up here and talked about the history of Edenville, because even though we're not physically in Edenville, I'm from Sanford, Florida, so I understand the importance of it all. I don't want it to be missed upon us and understand that. Did our brothers have anything to say?
Nah, we got to understand that reparations is already happening in a lot of different states and cities. As you see in California with AB 3121, they're already discussing reparations. They already got a criteria set for the descendants of chattel slavery. So in 2024, with this coming election, we're specifically asking candidates, politicians, what are you specifically going to do for the Black American community? We're not doing no more any type of resources that's not going to benefit us specifically. So we got to understand that it's one in Chicago, it's one in Boston, it's one in Atlanta, it's one in Phoenix, Arizona. So reparations is real. So us on the grassroots level, we'll be having discussions as politicians, letting them know, hey, we're Black Americans. We want our reparations specific cash. We don't want Starbucks coupons. We don't want free movie passes for 2 years. We need direct cash payments like the Jewish community, like the Native American community. So I want to just let the family know before you leave, ask somebody if they're an ally, because we get a lot of those conversations. Ask somebody, do you support lineage-based reparations in the form of direct cash payments? And that's all I got to say, family. Y'all be safe.
Also, if you would like more information on the Florida pull-ups, as well as reparations on different things that the FRCC, Florida Reparations Compliance Committee, is up to, you can email floridareparations@gmail.com. Real simple. floridareparations@gmail.com. We'll, be getting back with you and keeping you abreast.
I'm late. That's it. Go do it.
One of the coordinators.
What's up, Chris? What's happening?
I thought all this was gonna be Eatonville. I don't see nothing out here saying Eatonville.
Well, guess what? The people of Eatonville put all that nonsense. I can't have this on camera. They put all that nonsense out there. They put all that nonsense.
Respect, and that's for real.
Okay. Well, that sounds very good. You know, a lot of the stuff that you talk about. Well, first of all, my name is David. I'm glad to formally meet you with Florida Reparations Compliance Committee.
Okay.
The people you see here with the Juneteenth flags and the
Yeah.
Black American Heritage
What's going on?
flags.
My name Mark.
And so we do these events.
And your name again, Keisha?
We go do these events called pull-ups. And this is from our Pull-Up Central Florida, but you know, it has our contact information as well as the 5 points that we stand on as an organization, mainly reparations, hence Florida Reparations Compliance Committee.
Right.
So we push awareness, public awareness, as well as awareness with public elected officials or those who are seeking to be elected, you know, like you know, yourself and everything, to make sure that they actually know about reparations.
Oh, yes,
So
sir.
one of my questions would be to you is, are you aware of, you know, the different reparations activities that have been happening across the country in regards to state and local city task forces?
And you know, there's a brother, and I know he's running a real national campaign. I can't think of his name right now. But I know he's running a huge campaign about reparations and that kind of thing. I think he's out of D.C., Washington, D.C. But what I can do is take a look. I can take a look with my notes.
Do you know if it's lineage based or not? Because one of the points of our pull-up, one of the points of, you know, what we make the public aware of is also delineation. Understanding that reparations and delineation go hand in hand because it should be lineage based.
Right.
Those of us who are from the descendants of those who were held in chattel slavery in the U.S.,
Absolutely.
we are the ones that were here and are entitled to reparations. Not everybody who just has black or dark skin.
Well, and you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right about that, and he is concerned about that as well.
So that's all.
Well, but I want to know about you though,
Oh
because
yeah,
you're running for
when
mayor
I
of
say
Orlando.
he is, that means I'm in line with what he's saying.
Oh, okay.
And I'm in line with what you're saying too, as it relates with, because I know you try to make sure that the politicians are speaking truth to power, and that's the piece that I'm involved in too. Because not only this, but also black economics too, is very important.
Well, speaking of that, that's why we also have immigration as well as anti-black hate crime bill is one of our points as well. But immigration is very relevant here in Orlando also, and it's something that does hurt the black community. So we would be wondering, like, what would a mayor candidate, what would be your stance on immigration, and what you would do to protect black Americans economically and, you know, politically and otherwise?
I'm there 100%, and that's for real. And I'm not just saying it because of being on camera or anything like that, or standing here talking to you. That's my life, you know. Do
you support DeSantis' E-Verify law?
I don't even support DeSantis' ban on black American history books going into our schools too. And so, yeah, I have problems with that. I have
problems with the E-Verify law?
The E-Verify, what he's trying to do concerning E-Verify. But what he is also doing is he's causing division among the people, and specifically those that are within communities like black communities, white communities, Hispanic communities, Asian communities, Brazilian communities. Joseph is Brazilian. He's working with me in my campaign in this. And so he's involved in derisive type of tactics that will keep us down and keep opportunities for us to grow down as well. And see, and when you talk about vetoing the monies to go into the black studies and black museums and black history, you know, and you just draw a line through them and say, no, we're not going to support that, that's wrong.
Well, you know, sir, I did ask you specifically about the E-Verify law. And just we discussed how immigration, you know, uncapped immigration and illegal immigration especially hurts the black community, the black Americans that are here. You know, so it's not about supporting DeSantis or supporting, you know, the stuff that you see him doing in regards to black history, even though we can
But see,
We can
but
banter about that
but see,
in itself. That would be a whole nother
but see,
conversation.
please hear me.
But it's okay to
Listen.
support policy that supports Black Americans.
But please hear me. When I say those things concerning DeSantis and what he's doing, is cutting and eroding those gains that we have possibly made, you know, and those gains that we could even make. Because even from an immigration perspective, especially for our Haitian Americans that are here, that are working under temporary protective status and can't get any kind of support and all of those kinds of things, it's important that I too work with the federal government in trying to help ease those things for the people that live right into the cities. Now, the one thing that I do not support is illegal immigration whatsoever. Now, what I mean by that is when we have somebody that's coming in illegally, that we need to make sure that they are treated with respect, that they are treated with dignity, and that we help them work through trying to get the proper status that they need.
We don't agree with that as an organization. No. One, you know, it's not, as Black Americans, it's not our duty to help other people become citizens here. Something that we've already been here for centuries. You know, we come from this land. It's not something that we have had to, you know, pay for or have had to, our ancestors have really paid for it in more ways than one, but it's not something that we have to, you know, jump through hoops for other people to bring them into it, especially when they hurt our communities economically anyway. They come into our communities and start businesses. They don't necessarily put into our community, they come and take from our community. And on top of that, they get all types of subsidies from the government that we don't get as Black Americans. So, and even with the ones who are dark like us, like Haitians, my heart goes out to what's going on in Haiti, as well as a lot of other countries that are not the United States. But it's not our responsibility as Black Americans, when we're the most abused in this country to date, to really, you know, have our politicians feeling like they are obligated to help people from other countries have a pathway to citizenship here. And that's the E-Verify law actually enforces immigration better, and you know, it actually roots out illegal immigration better, because it makes it harder for companies to be able to hire illegal immigrants. So if you're against illegal immigration in all forms and facets, there's no reason why you wouldn't support that actual law, despite whoever put it forward. It's okay. I mean, it's like, it's politics. We don't have to like the guy who put the policy forward. If the policy helps us, then I don't think we should be letting people, you know, talk us out of our best interests.
Yeah, and
that's not just me. That's something I believe my brother here, he's actually an Orlando resident. You know what I'm saying? We all are in the state of Florida, but we have a vested interest in making sure that cities like Orlando, Miami, Jacksonville, Tampa, you name it, that it stays on point when it comes to looking out for Black Americans.
Right, and I'm not trying to persuade you in any kind of way. I'm just telling you how I feel.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's not a politician's job to persuade the constituents, really, when they're trying to get elected.
And that's the other thing too, because see,
I'm supposed to be persuaded. You know what I'm saying? It's like you should be checking my temperature to see what your people want, the people who you may be relying on to get elected. It's not about, you know, me checking your temperature and being convinced over.
That's the thing, you know, because we do have Haitians in the community. We do have Haitians that are concerned about the Haitians that are coming in and everything else and how they're being mistreated. So I'm about trying to treat everybody with dignity and respect. And that's what's important to me.
There's nothing wrong with treating people with dignity and respect. It's just we started going a little too far when we started talking about creating pathways of citizenship. I don't know. I think that needs to be handled in their home country, or however they do it. If they get a work visa to come here and they can turn that work visa into something permanent, you know, that's their business.
May I say something to you?
No.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just the way they say.
You're not running for mayor.
I just to say something.
Yeah.
See, that's the problem right there.
No, and I understand, and I hear you loud and clear. And like I said, because I don't want to be on nobody's defensive case.
No, brother. Yeah. I can tell you from the lineage you're a Black American as well. So when you're running for office, we want to come to you with dignity and respect as well. And you know, of course, we respect what you're doing. But we don't have to agree with you know,
and that's
your policy.
Okay. You see what I'm saying? That's okay. But as long as it don't separate us. See what I'm saying? Yeah. As long as it don't separate us, because see,
lineage. How far do your lineage go back, as far as it? here from the soil?
Well, I would probably say South Carolina, South Carolina, Hartsville, South Carolina. That's where my father's father is from. And then it kind of gets shady for me from that perspective because I don't know where his father comes from, but we know it's back there in South Carolina. From my mother's side, it's through Alabama.
Okay.
Mobile, Alabama. Her mother actually come out of, I think, New Orleans into Mobile and was part of, her family was a part of her grandmother was a part of the Native American. I don't remember which tribe it was, but she was definitely that. And so I know we come from there.
So you get back to probably about the early 1800s. As far as you probably need to do your genealogy though.
Yeah, I probably.
That's number one. Yeah, that's number one you need to do because a lot of us Black Americans waking up and we have done our lineage. You know what I'm saying? As far as our genealogy to know exactly we from the soil. That's why we talk like this because we have a common interest to link up. You know what I'm saying? A common denominator. So that's what we need to know your lineage. So it's like a lot. It's 40, 50, 60 million of us. You know. They actually need to know that and get behind you and get behind other candidates and stuff like that across the country. You know what I mean? So we want to definitely, that's a very thing that you need to know and need to do because a lot of people are going to question that, especially going into 2024. It's going to be big. You know what I'm saying? So you got anything, bro?
I was going to add also that bill that DeSantis passed that helped came from Keon Michael. She's a District 16 state representative in Jacksonville, Black American woman. She helped pass that immigration bill because her son got killed by an illegal immigrant who was drunk driving. He got deported once, he came back, he got deported again, he came back and he killed her son. So she was actually a part of that bill because like Brother Sankofa was saying, when it comes to immigration, Black Americans deal with it the most because when they come here, they come to our communities. And then we also see the brother Cyrus Belton, the 14-year-old out there in South Carolina, who was chased and gunned down by the Asian man. He thought he was still in a bottle of water.
Right.
So these people, they don't go to the suburbs. They come to our neighborhood and set up businesses and shop. And we got to deal with the Indian man and the Asian man, and they come over here with anti-Black sentiments, and then we got to deal with it in our neighborhood. So while we got our own communities like Ocoee, that went through the Ocoee massacre that got burnt down. Right. And they left the one brother Julius Perry hanging up on a light post for 3 days to make an example. We got Eatonville, one of the first Black municipalities in the country that's not getting the proper funding, the proper resources. So we have it's a long, and like you were saying, you've done your a little bit of your lineage, understand that we've been in this country for a long time, especially Florida. Oh yeah. You know what I mean? Whether whether you be Seminole, Chickasaw, Choctaw, indigenous lineage roots, we already know that we're a part of that group as well. So I don't have no problem with me personally. I don't have no problem with immigration, but if there is a certain protocol for you to have to go through, you can't just come over here and skip the line and Black Americans are at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? So
well, and I agree with that as far as coming in and we're constantly being pushed back.
Exactly.
See, and that's the kind of thing that I talked about earlier today at another event, and that is the deception that happens in our communities. Promises that are made but are never kept. And see, and the thing about it, for me, having to have been there, I was fighting against the organization of who I was a part of, who I swore to uphold the laws of the city, the state, the county, and the U.S., all of that. But I was like on a losing end, if you will, because I'd bring up these issues. And now, all of a sudden, they want to bring up creating a new park over in Richmond Heights.
Right.
Something that I had fought for over 8 years.
Right.
The city planners were meeting with the homeowners association group.
Yeah.
And left them promising that things will happen, but they never did occur.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the game we play with the politics, and even with the immigration thing. Frederick Douglass was a big staunch against immigration. Barbara Jordan, I don't even know why the Democrats took a crazy left turn from the Democratic Party of Barbara Jordan and how she stood on you know, making sure that the proper channels were, you know, properly vetted for, you know, immigrants to come over here, because she understood, you know, the things that we have to deal with as far as how immigration goes in our neighborhood. You know, they're not practicing, they're not hiring us. We don't work in these stores.
Well, see, and that's why black economics is so important too, because we as blacks have got to realize that we have to support black business pockets and into their communities.
Right.
If you became mayor, would you create a reparations task force or committee in Orlando?
I think that would be an excellent idea. I think it would be an excellent.
Oh yeah.
So would you be able to go on record of doing that within your campaign, pushing for that as one of your campaign points?
Yeah, you want to help me frame it up?
Yeah, we can get back with you or whatever. We have a whole organization. In fact, I got your card. I'll email you from our email account, and then we can start a correspondence like that. And then hopefully we can actually get you on a video call one day. It's awesome.
Okay, good deal. I think that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Because see, you know, we can't fight against each other and get nowhere.
Oh no, we definitely come up here to fight with you, man. We came up here to parlay and you know,
to
see where you are,
educate,
and as well as to, you know, let you know what we need as a people, especially here in the city of Orlando, but across the state and the country, honestly. But of course, you're running for mayor, so I can't expect you to be Superman flying all across the state.
And he's running.
But see, if the people get behind me, I'm serious. If the people get behind me, because this guy is figuring, hey, look, he only got in this race because I got in this race. I got in this race on February 28, 2023, which was the last day of Black History Month, and also the date of one of my daughter's birthday. That's when I signed my intention to run for mayor of Orlando. So late March, after he sees that I'm in the race, because he hasn't announced. Now, everything was supposed to have taken place from January 1, 2023. City was supposed to have been announcing that there is a citywide general election for mayor, commissioner of District 2, District 4, and District 6. This is District 6, where I used to be, okay? But that hadn't taken place. So a lot of people in Orlando don't even know we're having a general election. They don't. And it's because of deceptive practices to deceive the people, and it's to make sure that the incumbents are the ones that get back in, because see, their supporters are going to come out and support them anyway. But see, we need to generate new people, new voters that's coming into Orlando to make sure that they vote for Samuel B. Eames for mayor. And we can make these things happen. Here's another thing too. I work with the World Conference of Mayors, which is a black organization that includes other groups as well. And the World Conference of Mayors is headquartered in Tuskegee, Alabama. The founder is Johnny Ford. Johnny Ford was a former mayor of Tuskegee, Alabama. Tuskegee, Alabama is the home of...
What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Olabayo Julius Burila. You call me Bayo.
Bayo?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm asking you a couple questions, Bayo.
All right.
Okay, what does Juneteenth mean to you?
Juneteenth means a lot of things to me because I'm from Africa. So I have to learn Juneteenth that you guys are doing. I was born in Africa, raised in Africa, come to US as an artist. So to me, it's to gather we black people together to love each other. And what has happened many years ago to not happen to us anymore. To unite together. That's what it means to me. Because when we gather together, we gather with love, with peace. So with that, we can continue with that in society anywhere you go. So that's how it means to me.
Okay, by us being black Americans, we fought for the soil. We actually built everything here. We fight for our soil. Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you feel about reparations for black Americans?
I feel sorry what black America go through. I won't say, I will just say sorry. I know your pains and everything like that. That you don't know your roots, where's your roots, you know. So I feel that black America need more grace, to grace them more, to give them more support. What they've done to this country, entirely this country, to support them more. So to feel like we are at home.
Another question. in your country, do y'all consider yourself black? Do y'all go around and say I'm black Ghanaian, or I'm a black South African? Do y'all actually say I'm black?
Yes, I feel like that I'm black.
No, but do you in your own country? Do you say that do y'all walk around, talk around, run around saying that y'all are black?
No, we don't say that. We don't say that because that's the root we born. Because we know the root and the culture. So the culture guide us to speak to people with respect. So when somebody say, "Are you black?" and this in my country, in black, that means people will deal with that person. That means,
I want to ask you one more question. By us delineating here, this is what we call delineation, right? We're focusing on black Americans here on the soil because we got just do with our ancestors from building this country. We get reparations and everything like that. Would that offend you when we say we're delineating? That means separating black lines from black American until we get our reparations, and then from the other diaspora of the world. Of the other black people in the world, but we being black Americans here from America, and we looking for reparations, and we're doing delineation, right? That means to separate while we getting our just due.
Yeah.
Do that offend you?
Little bit. Yeah, little bit. Because I'm not in the pain. If I'm in the pain, I'm sorry to say that. If I'm in the pain, I feel you guys' pain. So that's why anytime they are doing Juneteenth, Black Festival and this, I have to come there to express myself with my culture, with dance, with culture, because that's what we need to be communicate with people, to know where you come from, to see your roots, because I'm the root, because I've come from the roots, so I'm sorry to say that. So I feel you guys' pain, that's why I'm trying to pass the message to Black America, like we are saying, even I'm from Nigeria, we are still the same, the message I'm passing to you, like, you stay home, you can still get to your home, you're surrounded by home. So
one more question. This is our home. This is our motherland right here.
Yeah.
Your motherland is Africa, and that's what you look at. We don't call Africa the motherland. We call America
motherland.
This is our soil. This is where we're from. So we don't ever get confused by that. Like I said, do that offend you?
Yeah.
Actually, a quick question. Do you think reparations should only specifically go to Black Americans, or do you think Africans and Caribbean should also be included?
They should include.
Yeah. So
they should all, the whole world where Africa, Black America is, they have to,
So I guess so if we're talking about, the harms that happen in this country to a specific ethnic group of people, then don't you think that repair should go, to that specific group of people? And if Africa and the Caribbean, they do have their harms, but don't you think they should, galvanize and take up that claim, with the countries that harm them?
I think it should go around. It should not be in one particular place. It should go to all, because the slavery go all over the world. They slave Africa to Europe, to America, to everywhere.
Right, but the same people that might enslave somebody in Africa weren't the same people that enslaved somebody in Mississippi. So you would have to get that recompense from the people that harm your family, as opposed to me going to the people that harm my people in Mississippi. You know what I mean? It's just a way to get just a way to get things more compartmentalized, more specific. You know what I mean? Because we've had a lot of different programs that have been allotted to quote-unquote Black people, which includes, Africans, Caribbeans, and all that. But when we're talking about here, the specific harms that were done to us have kept us in a certain position. And people that just moved to this country don't have that history. So reparations is to repair that history. It's not for, just for everybody that was done wrong. You know what I mean? It's specific legislation.
But to me, I think like that, I have to belong to you guys. I have to feel the pain to support you guys with that. I don't have to separate myself like, okay, because I come from America, from Africa, you guys are no. I have to support you guys. I have to be with you guys. So that's how I feel. That's how it's supposed to be. I'm not different with you. We have the same color. You have the culture in you. Just for that they slave us from Africa. I have to give the support. I have to feel the pain. I have to think about it always. And Thank you, guys. Yeah. Peace, brother. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Peace. Peace, brother. Yeah. Thank you.
I have a good one.
See this, bro.
Thought we were
What
gonna
did
walk around.
Juneteenth mean to you? Black America.
What's the definition of it?
What it mean to you, actually?
That means a celebration of slavery. For me, it's recognizing our and valuing our history.
And let me ask you a question. Do you believe in reparations? Believe in reparations?
I do.
Reparations? Does your lineage come back? Do your lineage go back to here from this soil? Or are you from here? So you're Black American. I could tell he was a Black American too. So.
We can go back over 100 years, back to 1832 at least.
1832. Congratulations, my brother. We just out here seeking, man. We get some information too, man. Definitely, my brother. Look forward. Hit us up with the email. We got an open discussion all the time, man. We're just giving out awareness, all right?
Appreciate it. Thanks, y'all. Have a good day.
Yo, what's up? This is Sonny G with the Florida Reparations Compliance Committee, and I'm here with my brother Mario. And I just got two questions to ask you real quick, Mario. What does Juneteenth mean to you?
It's a day where I feel like it's a day made for Black people. Get to thrive and talk to them.
Facts. And how do you feel about reparations for those descendants in the form of cash payments?
Reparations.
And how do you feel about reparations?
Activism.
Yeah, reparations is where they repair the community that they damage. You know what I'm saying? So just like the Native Americans, like they got reparations, they got land, they get checks and stuff every month. The Jewish community, they done got broke off with some money and stuff like that. So Black Americans were promised 40 acres and a mule and never got our reparations still to this day. So right now we're in the fight for reparations. So we're making sure that we get our money, we get land, anti-Black hate crime bill, certain things like that. So it's just important that we push reparations, especially with the the 2024 election coming up. So how do you feel about reparations now?
So like that's the case, we need reparations.
Right.
We keep fighting for reparations.
Yes. Definitely appreciate you, brother Morris.
What's it be on?
It's gonna be on YouTube. It's gonna be on the Twitter. It's gonna be the contact info right here, Florida Pull Up at gmail.com. So yeah, definitely, man. Check it out. We're gonna put it up. It's gonna be on TikTok and a whole bunch of other shit. All right, man.
Juneteenth to me means unity, gathering together, supporting your community, just honestly, freedom, being able to get together, fellowship.
How do you feel about reparations for the descendants in the form of cash payments?
I feel like it would be a step in the right direction. I feel like it is something that, if you look back at, some of the other cultures, some of the Jewish people have gotten, reparations for the Holocaust and things like that. So I kind of feel like it's not as, that much different from, when it comes to Black people and, getting reparations. So I do feel like it would be a step in the right direction.
That's right.
If that was something that, was given to us.
Can you shout out your business? Let everybody know what
Well, I am filling in for Patricia Johnson. Her business is called Life of a Military Child. So she is originally from the Eatonville area. She's a retired military vet, so she does have books available for sale. So she really does a lot in the community. Some of her different books talks about some of the things that kids go through, in the military. Talks about perseverance, endurance, just different things that they have to deal with and how they're able to cope with some of those skills. So it was something, she saw a need for something like that and she created that. So she kind of filled in that gap to be able to provide some literature for kids who are children of those in the military.
All right, that's dope. That's real dope. That's real dope. And where your family from?
My family is originally from the Orlando and Apopka area. And her family, she is in the Eatonville area.
How far you trace your lineage back?
Honestly, I've struggled tracing mine back. I honestly can't get past, like, you know, my generation and the generation before me. Other than that, I really can't get beyond that. So honestly, you know, I've tried some of the different websites, but it's hard trying to trace that back. But it's kind of weird that you have some of the sites that saying that they can trace this stuff back, but then I don't get far, especially not on the sites that I've been on. So I honestly can't trace mine back that far. I wish I could, but I can't.
You could tell. I could tell she's from the lineage by her spirit. But yeah, definitely it's important to trace your lineage. But because the criteria is already set for reparations, 1870 census, descendant, ancestor, black, Negro, mulatto, and that's pretty much what the bar is set for reparations. To qualify also to be, you had to been able to check and mark yourself off as black on paperwork for the past 10 years.
Yeah, so I've done like some of the DNA testing stuff, you know, so I do have that in there, and I just a whole bunch of 5th and 6th cousins, a very few 2nd cousins that, you know, I haven't known about, but honestly, I haven't gotten too far as trying to find that. So, what is? Now, is this Ancestry?
Yeah. And we do FamilySearch.org. And there's a couple other places that you can do for death records and things of that nature.
Some of them I'm a little bit in the 1800s, and other ones I'm like in the 17, early 16.
So for me, I really can't get past like my grandmother.
Okay. I just wonder what it's still for the whole time.
And I've looked at some of the obituaries and stuff like that online, or death records, but.
You hold that?
I don't want this touching the ground.
I got it.
Actually,
right.
I want to
What's so hard?
I'll do just like this.
Yeah, just hold it.
Have it on me like
Yeah,
this.
just hold it.
Yeah, have it flowing in the background.
So here, ready to move out a little bit so the music will go ahead. You go.
All right, peace family. This is Brother St. Kobu with Florida Reparations Compliance Committee. We got my brother, what's your name again, man? Sean with us. I wanted to ask you a couple questions, Sean. You know, first starting with, you know, what does Juneteenth mean to you?
Juneteenth is a negative. Be all but it's enough for us to get ready. And it's a start of what was took really stolen from which is the unity, the strength that's within. And when you look out here and you see all these different colors and tones, but you see one thing all the same. Everybody on one beat right now. That's what it is.
And what are your thoughts on reparations, or what do you know about it, and what are your thoughts?
Reparations is long overdue. I mean, they can't pay us. The reparations we need is more than money. It's beyond money. We need the land. And that's one thing I know y'all might know about England, where we from. We fight to get that land back.
So tell us more about Eville.
Established in 1887, you know, 21 people signed these papers. It was really 1886, but it was 1887 when it was official. So, you know, we became the first black town in America.
Okay.
Old black town in America.
So your family, your lineage, all that comes from Eville as well?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And how far back do you trace your lineage?
I go, me personally, I ain't went past great.
So it's like around mid 1800s or something?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Early.
Okay. Your people came from Alabama, like a lot of Edenville people, or South Carolina?
Yeah,
okay.
Carolina, you know how everybody landed over there. Came on down. Then from Edenville, but you know everybody came to Edenville once that got established. That was the education ground. For most of all the blacks in Florida past the 4th grade. So if you wanted to get education past the 4th grade, you had to come to Edenville.
The educational system in Edenville, Florida was so superb and superior that kids that was graduating grade school was leaving college because college had nothing to teach them. So that's just here in America. Regardless of where we may say we come from before now. You know what I'm saying? In America, education in Edenville was so powerful and so superior that kids leaving grade school was coming back home because college had nothing to teach them.
And what's your name?
And that's the power, Elkanon Howard.
All right, nice to meet you.
That's the power of teaching ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So it's quite natural that someday we all not gonna be on the same path in terms of what we may profess and what we may believe. You know what I'm saying? But we have to, salute the works. An example of that, I don't know if you guys are into the Bible, but the man that's known as Jesus was asked the question, for which one of my works do you seek to stone me? And those who was accusing him for being all these, these things that was against his real character, said, for a good work we stone thee not. You know what I'm saying? But thou being a man maketh thyself God is why we stone thee. You know what I'm saying? His answer was, is it not written in your law that I have said ye are gods? And all of you are children of the Most High, but you shall die like princes. That was his answer to that question. But they couldn't stone him from a good work. I'm here, we're here for good works. I'm not sure of you brothers' travel, but I do salute a good work. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't need no help being against you.
What does Juneteenth mean to you?
Well, to me, Juneteenth means to me is a portion of freedom that really wasn't granted to us. You know what I'm saying? So whatever happened in Galveston, Texas during the time that they said they wasn't free the last few people that were slaves, bro, we got slaves in 2023. 2023, we have people that slaves. We slaves to pornography. We slaves to malicious intent against each other. We slaves to gun violence. We're slaves to other people's agendas. And it's obvious. So if we take a look at what we call Power Hills, Florida, you will see a lot of our brothers, a lot of our people still enslaved to somebody else's agenda. And them the chains that must be broken. So the concept of, okay, this is a free black man. You know what I'm saying? He free. This black woman, they're free. You know what I'm saying? That given us by somebody else. Somebody else made those declarations of you and I being free. But we still free psychological chain and bound by other people's agendas. Personally, no one can grant us our freedom but ourselves. And the only day that that's gonna come to life, real talk, is when we ready to shed blood for our cause.
What do you think about reparations?
I love reparations. It's old. You know what I'm saying? It's old and it's overdue. You paid in there and everybody else, pay me. Give me what you owe me.
But it's
still give me back what. The reason that it's going to be a problem with reparations, even though we see certain states giving and granting reparations, the problem with reparations is going to come from this. The only way, there's no in between. You either the head or the tail. There's only one place for us to go. That's the top. You can't be in between. As long as somebody ringing over the so-called black man in America, you ain't free. It ain't but one place for us to go, the top. And as long as our adversary understand that, he gonna do all in his power or her power to prevent that. Even if it is under the mirage of giving you some money for reparations. Yeah, that's gonna help us get a little bit further than where we at. But it's not gonna get us what we're looking for. You know what's gonna get that?
They looking at that shit as collateral damage.
When we lose the feel of the sting of death. When you lose that feel, that's when we gonna really get free.
Okay. And on another note, brother, so
yes, sir.
What is your lineage lead back to?
My lineage lead back to, I'm not personally haven't done any lineage, you know what I'm saying? But as
just based on what you know.
I'm leading back to all in existence. Check this out. If you poke your head back into history, the furthest you're gonna get back is what they call blackness. Get past that.
But you're people from Edenville, though, right?
Yes, I'm born and raised here. Okay. You know what I'm saying? In the Edenville area. But that's because of bondage in America. You know what I'm saying? But before bondage in America, we was actually runners of America. The so-called black man in America. He ran America. You know what I'm saying? He literally ran it. I mean, from the top to the bottom. Set up governmental structures and things of that nature. 8 black presidents before the first white president on this soil. So that's coming from you know, the perspective of us in America. Now, I don't know I ain't did no physical research to say where it comes from, but I know this. You can't get past this right here in history. Whitey can't do it. I don't care how he tried. What he get back to, the results he get back to is that, well, it's black. That's what he get to. That's what he reach. How far
Good.
Wearing with African clothing?
We actually would like to see if we could do a quick interview with you, if you don't mind.
100%.
Okay.
100%.
100%. Well, hold this right here, and I can actually I can stand right here. You got both of us? No, you good. We can keep you right here with your merchandise and everything showing it, man.
How are you?
All right. Looking more light skinned.
How you doing, Stacey?
All right. Well, first of all, I'm Brother Sankofa with the Florida Reparations Compliance Committee. Good. And your name is?
My name is Randy.
This is Brother Mark from the store.
Oh yeah.
And you say your name is Randy?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, first of all, where you from, Brother Randy?
Well, I was born in Ghana, West Africa. I live in Orlando currently. Yeah, so I'm located in Orlando.
Okay. So you say you were born in Ghana, as you know, a first-gen Ghanaian American here, what does Juneteenth mean to you?
Well, Juneteenth, the biggest thing is one is liberation. Two, also just remembering when history happened. You understand? So that's one of the biggest things, making sure the youth remembers what history is all about. So kind of cultivate them as they're growing up so they can kind of have some kind of substance in themselves. Because if you don't know your past, how do you move forward? So that's one of the things that Juneteenth does mean to me.
So what are your thoughts on reparations?
I definitely think it's something that is needed. Not only reparations, but also mental health. Because another thing is, you know, you could give reparations, but also are we being helped mentally? You know, because you know, coming from who we are, we're 100% behind the 8 ball. You know, we don't have as much right away as other cultures does. You understand? So as my mother always used to tell me is, one thing you have to do is you have to work twice as hard to get to the same playing field as they are. You see? So I'm definitely all for reparations, but I'm also for mental health. You know, just kind of healing us. You know.
So let me ask you this then, because I know that you do include, say, we and us a lot. Do you think that as a first-generation Ghanaian American that you would actually be qualified for reparations, and that it's a debt that's due to you as opposed to the Black Americans who are that specific lineage and ethnicity?
That's a great question. As a person born in Ghana, I've actually thought about that. Me personally, I'm gonna just tell you my honest truth. I think me personally, I would be okay not receiving it. More or less, you know, like I said, because I was born there, so more or less this is more of the things that happen to people that were forced to come here. You understand? So.
Or those, meaning those who were held in U.S. chattel slavery.
Right. Correct. That's what I would say on that perspective.
So are you familiar with this flag or the original Juneteenth flag even?
I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not familiar with the flag. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the flag.
Okay.
But I've seen a lot of people wearing that particular logo and that particular colors.
Okay. Yeah, but so this is the Black American Heritage flag.
Okay.
And the Juneteenth flag, you see the red and white with the star in the middle. Yeah, that's the official flag of Juneteenth.
Okay.
So, you know, I was just kind of educating you on that, and also want to know, you know, like what it seems like you do have some respect for Black Americans. You know, what do you think about Black Americans declaring ourselves as a unique ethnicity based off our lineage and not being lumped in or classified as flat blackness? You know, with say Ghanaian immigrants, Jamaican.
Yeah, it's 100%. It's 100%. I'm 100% okay with it. You know, because you know, us as Black folks, we've gone through a lot. Whether you're from another country, whether you're from this country, however it may be. One thing I can say, we've gone through a lot. Even though we've gone through a lot, we're super resilient.
You know, they've given us money. We've made houses out of it. You know, they've given us a quarter. We've made 500,000. You know, so I'm all about us black folks. Whether we come from another country, whether we're in this country, I believe, to be honest with you, I believe we're all one. You know, so I'm all about unity. I'm all about family. I'm all about the village. The village is what I'm all about. Because, you know, not your mother, your father can't do it by themselves. It's the village.
So with that being said, you know, it sounds like you kind of pivoted back to the flat blackness, because I was asking you about Black Americans as a unique ethnicity, as a unique lineage, and us being able to make sure that we declare ourselves and delineate who we are specifically, because that's the only way that we really will be able to establish our claim for ourselves, by acknowledging that we do first of all exist, and that we're not just all one big N-word, as you know.
Gotcha. So in terms of that, I mean, I definitely understand what you're saying, and it makes total sense because it is a different. It has been a different process for not all black people have gone through the same process. So it has been a different process for certain black people. So I definitely understand what you're saying in terms of having the difference in terms of the ethnicity and the lineage. So I definitely understand that.
I really appreciate your time. I know you got a business to run. One more question.
Yes, sir.
When was the last time you went to Ghana?
I just came back April 20th.
April 20th. When you're in Ghana, do y'all refer to each other? Do y'all refer to yourselves as Black Ghanaians, or just Ghanaians and Yorubas or Igbos or however?
Yeah. Mainly you refer as, well, in Ghana it's all Ghanaians. It's all Ghanaians. So, but in terms of your tribe, not really your tribe, but in terms of like Igbo, I'm Gan, G-A. So I'm Gan, there's Tree. So there's different, you know, not levels, but different Ghanaians, so to speak.
But y'all don't call yourselves Black over in Ghana though.
I would think so, yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you were there, you were just there. Were they walking around saying we Black, you know?
To be honest with you, they don't really, because we are the majority. So they don't really use that term that we're Black, because we know we're Black. You understand what I'm saying? So I may not be understanding your question, but when I'm there, I pretty much have never heard somebody say, hey, you know, we're Black, so on and so forth, because we're there. You know, when you have the other minorities that come in, they're small in comparison to us, where we're everywhere. You understand what I'm saying? So we wouldn't use the same to distinguish that we're Black. They should use to distinguish that they're whoever they are. You understand?
All right, well, thank you again for taking the time out for us.
One more time, can we hit it one more time? I really like it. Come on. So come let me do it. I like it. I really like it. So come.
It's your boy Sonny. We're reporting live with my OG from Flavor in DeVille. Make sure y'all come check them out, spend your money. Be out of lineage, y'all here in Juneteenth doing this thing. Make sure y'all pull up.
And this is Flavor in DeVille. We represent a family business here from the great incorporated city of Eatonville, 1887, as most of us know it. So come out and enjoy this Juneteenth celebration. We waited a long time for this. Don't let it get past us. Peace.
It's Sonny G with the Florida Reparations Compliance Committee with our elder, Ms. Barrow. Ms. Barrow, what does Juneteenth mean to you?
To tell you the truth, I never really think about it. I'm just a foreigner. I've come here 26 years ago.
Okay.
To live here.
Okay. And how do you feel about
but just looking around, I enjoy it, and I think it's a good thing, and it could be more people, more actions.
Gotcha. How do you feel about the descendants of slaves getting, Black Americans getting reparations?
Getting reparations. Black Americans, like a reprieve for what they had gone through.
Yes.
I feel that they should be recompensated.
Definitely. Thank you, Ms. Barry.
You're most welcome, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Barry.
Let's go, son. And by next year, too.
All right, it's Brother Sankofa with Florida Reparations Compliance Committee, and we are actually interviewing one of the coordinators of the Orlando Juneteenth celebration. Central Florida Juneteenth celebration, honoring with a special honoring of Edenville, right?
Correct.
All right, you named Brother Chris.
Brother Chris.
All right, so Chris, I guess our first question would be, what is the meaning of Juneteenth?
Juneteenth. So much I can say about it. I'm gonna skip over that.
Okay. Well, what do you know about reparations, and what are your thoughts on it?
What do I know about reparations? Somebody owe us some money. They need to give it to us as soon as possible. However, as Black Americans, we can't get our reparations until we identify ourselves as our own race.
Okay. And so have you traced your lineage or done any type of, I guess, oral history or whatever to know where your people come from and what your particular story is when it comes to your family's journey through U.S. chattel slavery?
My family's journey, I can only trace back about 120 years. I need to sit down with my grandmother while she's still alive and find out more about my lineage. But we've been here for quite some time, but I can't give you a specific date.
Okay. Now, so back to the Juneteenth question, though, because, I know you got a lot of thoughts on it, but we're here to listen to you. So, what does Juneteenth mean to you? Because, it obviously means a lot. You took the time to, help organize this massive event.
I'm a man of little words, so I would say this. This is what Juneteenth means to me. To the organization that I work with, it's about awareness, celebrating, educating, and uniting. But specifically, what Juneteenth means to me is just it's showing our heritage, showing our culture, showing our pride. The theme of this year's event is Hear Us, See Us. It's time for us to be heard. We definitely being seen right now. So it's just all about, just coming together as a family and just building each other up. And I truly appreciate y'all for coming out, giving the awareness. And listen, we just gonna continue to grow. Everybody gotta throw some meat into this pot. Some people gonna throw some vegetables. But when you put it all together, put a little sodium in there, put a little seasoning, you got what? Soul food.
Okay. All right.
Hey.
I like that. And I like that cap too. I know you made that cap.
Hey, yes, and I would tell you this. Take a look around. You got to pan at this gentleman right here. Pan at this gentleman right here. And this gentleman right here. This hat, this design was inspiration directly from these brothers, particularly these two. But we all work together as one, and we're going to move forward.
All right, appreciate that.
I want to ask one question too, Chris. Next year, do you see any changes to it next year by being, like for us, giving a little representation for Black Americans? Do you think you'll reach out a little bit more for the concept of what Juneteenth means to Black Americans?
Look at here. When we talking about Black America, we're going to overemphasize it next year. And we're going to overemphasize it a little sooner than that. Hopefully within the next 4 to 5 months, we're going to have another family event, another family reunion, and we're going to focus on Black America. I bought a hotel. And I mean that. I'm a man of little words, but when I say what I say, we don't go with that one.
Well, thank you again for all your hard work as well as giving us your time right now for the interview.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
This is the real. What's going on? This is Sonny G with the Florida Reparations Compliance Committee with my brother Mike. Brother Mike, I got a quick question for you. What does Juneteenth mean to you?
Juneteenth means the recognition of our people. It means the recognition of our tribe, what we've been through, what we've overcome, and the road still ahead that we still have to pave along the way, because it doesn't just stop at the beginning, and this is only the beginning of the recognition of what we actually did. So for me, Juneteenth is a day of remembrance.
That's a fact. And how do you feel about reparations for those descendants?
Absolutely, reparations is definitely needed. We built this country. We are the backs that this country was built upon. I travel back and forth to Washington, D.C., and every time I see the White House, or the Capitol, and I know what we built that. from the south all the way up to the north. This country would be nothing without us and our descendants. From the engineering to the building of it, to the military, to the wars that were fought. All right, we are the backbone of this country.
How you feel about in the form of cash payments?
Because you figure within history what was taken from us already. I mean, even when some of our land that was given to us, they took that. They murdered some of my people and they took from it. There's lands now, the state of Florida and North Carolina, where descendants of ours are buried up under this land. There's land now where corporations are building over cemeteries. Give back to us what you owe us, whether it be in the form of a payment, or whether it be in the form of land, or whether it be in the form of both. And restitution, it's we're able to do it. We spend trillions of dollars in defense. Why can't we use that?
Hey, this is Sonny G with the Florida Reparations Compliance Committee here with my sister Kristen. And Sister Kristen, what does Juneteenth mean to you?
It really means freedom for our people. It means a change for all of our community, all around the world, really, not even just America, right? It's the step forward, it's the movement that we need in the right direction to, one, economically win, and to get back power, and to get right back in our position, because at the end of the day, we all know that we're kings and queens, and that's where we belong on the top, running it.
How do you feel about reparations for those descendants in the form of cash payments?
I definitely think it's a conversation. I hope that our people, sometimes we get caught up in the material things. Our problem is that we don't feed our community. Our dollars don't repeat in our communities. So I would hope that if we ever got reparations in my timeline, my lifetime, I would hope that our people learn to give it back to our communities, specifically black-owned businesses, black pharmacies, black, just black in general. We the only community our money do not move around. One time it's cycle in, that's it.
Appreciate you, Sister Kristen.
Sure.
What's your name?
Crystal.
Sister Kristen.
Sister Crystal.
Yeah, this is Sonny G with the Florida Reparations Compliance Committee here with our sister Crystal. Now I just want to ask you two quick questions real quick. What does Juneteenth mean to you?
Juneteenth, reflecting on the struggles of still trying to pursue freedom in the United States of America, and the fact that we were not free until years after the fact. And so I try to make sure it's the time that I teach my kids, and it's all about remembrance and showing gratitude to those that have pushed us this far.
Definitely. And also, Sister Crystal, how do you feel about reparations for those descendants in the form of cash payments?
I don't feel like it's coming anytime soon, but it's definitely something that we are owed. We built this country.
Facts.
Point blank.
Facts. Definitely appreciate you, Sister Crystal. Appreciate your time.
But yeah, I'm gonna charge this phone so I can keep doing. If y'all got a moment though, y'all can go jump on the phone.
Here with the Florida Reparation Compliance Committee with my sister Lois Steen, or Elder. I just want to ask you a few questions about Juneteenth. What does Juneteenth mean to you?
It means a lot to me. About the slavery, I'm glad to see that we have progress and we're coming forth with a lot of things that keep us from being down. And I really appreciate you all as young men to come out and celebrate Juneteenth.
Definitely.
Do you think it's something that we should just celebrate, or is it something that we should require more from about in regards to Juneteenth?
Oh yeah, definitely. We should definitely require more from.
Okay. What do you think some of the things that we should require as a black people?
I mean, resources, tangible, specifically towards us. You know what I'm saying? Like I told the man over there, I was talking to the organizer, Chris. I walked around, we seen Asian people, we seen all different type of people from our ethnic group, but when they have a festival for them, we not allowed to set up and be vendors at their festival. They gatekeep their culture. So, we got to be on the same time.
That's real shit, man. And seem like you're knowledgeable. I'm sure all y'all brothers are knowledgeable in regards to the history of black people. Are you familiar with the timeline that happened after they was freed and got emancipated, as far as like Black Wall Street, Harlem, Detroit? If you can expound on that, tell the people about the Black Wall Street.
So right after emancipation, you had a period known as Reconstruction, when the South was under federal control by the Northern troops. During that time, a lot of the laws of equality were being enforced by military law. You know what I'm saying? So you had black businesses that were thriving at the time. Black people was in political office. You know, you had black lieutenant governors, black senators, you know, people on the state level. A lot of our HBCUs was founded during that period. And then around 1876, during that election time, you had the Compromise of 1876, where basically you had the Northern Republican candidate and the Southern Democratic candidate was, you know, tied in the Electoral College or whatever. They came to a compromise that if they would let the Northern Republican candidate win, I believe it was Rutherford B. Hayes or something like that, if he would win, then they would withdraw Northern troops out of the South. So when they did that in 1876, that's when, you know, a lot of the Jim Crow laws started being instituted. You had a city in North Carolina where the black politicians and elected leaders who basically ran out of the state house. You know what I'm saying? Different instances where that started happening. So that's just kind of a brief timeline just after slavery. But then, you know, you had cities like Tulsa popping up during the early 1900s. Eatonville was founded in 1887. In my hometown, you had Goldsboro, Georgetown, Bookertown. All of those were being founded around the 1880s also.
So that's good history. That's good information for our people to understand, man. And I'm sure you know what happened to it and why it's not still standing today. You know, the history behind all of that. And you know, that was the 19th. People say that was so long ago, but what do you think we got to do now to build back places like Tulsa, Oklahoma, Harlem, Eatonville, and stuff like that, a thriving black community? What do you think we got to do today?
Well, we're owed a debt. We're owed a cash debt. You know what I'm saying? Anything that you do, it requires capital. And, you know, whether people want to look at how a lot of us do it individually or not, collectively, you know what I'm saying, we need to be reimbursed our capital so that we can really build these things, these cities, these infrastructure institutions without having the obstacles that we you know, see today.
Damn right, man. We definitely need that bread. I mean, and they owe us that. You know, they owe us that much. You know what I'm saying? You want to add on as well too?
Now I was going to say that, yeah, I think as far as what my brother Sankofa was saying, we also need to acquire doing our lineage, tracing our lineage. All of us in our group that we have outside of here, we've done our lineage. I could go back to the late 1600s and my people were still on this land. You know what I'm saying? So it's important that we understand our genealogy and we trace our lineage. My third great grandmother, Kitty Payne, was enslaved for 35 years. Coming out of the Maddox plantation in Virginia, Franklin County, Virginia. She got her freedom from her slave master's deathbed. His wife did not like that. She fled to Philadelphia. They came and got her and put her back in captivity. My other grandmother, Lucinda Fry, she was enslaved for 38 years. So it's important. And they was on a plantation getting raped. They was forced to do all type of labor, etc. We all got our stories when we trace our lineage. So it's power in tracing our lineage. Getting on Ancestry.com, tracing, connecting the dots to your family tree, and also letting politicians, people know that on the grassroots level, black Americans is waking up. We just not voting no more. We not shucking and jiving. We not falling for none of that. If you don't have specific tangibles and set aside some benefits specifically for black Americans, we're not participating in none of your political arena at all.
Damn right, man. I 100% agree. Identity is everything. You know what I'm saying? And for you to say that happened to your grandmother, that don't date too far back.
Nah, not at all.
You know what I'm saying? This is something that we still living out the byproducts of that till this day. You get what I'm saying? So last question, Donald Trump, guilty or not guilty?
What?
Are you familiar with what's going on? The whole indictment?
There's two different indictments. One is about the classified documents, and then the other one is about the hush payment, the Stormy Daniels.
Right.
So that's why I said guilty of what?
The classified documents.
Yeah, I think he probably is.
Think he guilty?
Yeah.
Hey, both. Stormy Daniels.
Will he be found guilty?
Yeah.
I think that's up in the air.
Right.
But is he guilty? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that cracker guilty.
Yeah, right. Get that brother in.
Yeah, that cracker definitely guilty. You know what it is.
He did that shit. All of it.
Yeah, word up.
Man, listen, I appreciate y'all brothers, man.
We gotta get Saul to ask a question real quick.
Okay.
I gotta ask it to him.
Hold that real quick.
Let
me just start with this brother right here, man. What Juneteenth mean to you?
Juneteenth don't mean a damn thing to me. It's supposedly a day of liberation and freedom, which is all just smoke and mirrors, man. You know what I'm saying? It's all a facade because we're still not liberated. And how we celebrating a day where our people received the information of freedom 2 years after it was emancipated. You get what I'm saying? So it's all a hoax, man. And you know, it's really nothing. It's just something to ease us, to pacify us, so we can forget about what we really need in our community.
So just one more question. Do you believe in reparations?
This is what I would say in regards to that. Do these crackers owe us? Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? They owe us the land that we're standing on right now. You dig what I'm saying? Are we gonna get it through legislation, through voting, through politics? Hell no. You know what I'm saying? The only way I feel like we can get what's ours if we mobilize as an army and show them that we are a moving force. You get what I'm saying? And most importantly, we have to have God on our side. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, we should get something back.
Yeah, I believe it's gonna be fist. It's gonna be fist. It's gonna be the Armageddon. It's gonna be the Armageddon.
You already
We're
know,
gonna get ready for it.
Damn right.
We gotta get ready, man. The crackers don't give us what we want. We gotta take it.
Straight up. Damn right, brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is Juneteenth to you? I mean, different perspective.
A different perspective, man. I think it's just like something to keep us pacified, to keep us asleep. Like, you know what I'm saying? They've been teaching us false identity from the time that we stepped on this land. You know what I'm saying? And we have yet to reach our real identity, to know who we are as a people. They still calling us African American. I've never been to Africa. I was born right here in America. You know what I'm saying? So until we learn our true identity, you know what I'm saying? According to the Lord, and turn back to the Lord, who is our power, that's the only way we're going to get anything out of this. Because we still slaves. On Juneteenth right now, we still slaves. We just ain't on the plantation. But the jobs, the living conditions, the injustice that we get shows us that Juneteenth don't mean nothing but a day that they give us to so-called be proud of, which ain't nothing to be proud of, but we still getting killed, shot down every day. You know what I'm saying? And the politicians that are in the position to help us out a little bit, they failed us. They failing us every day. They ain't doing a damn thing. They cooning. And they speak for the people, and the people ain't even spoke. So Juneteenth, man, it's just something to pacify us. It's like you do a baby when he crying. Put something in his mouth to keep him quiet from now until he cries again. And until we cry again, it's going to continue to happen. But until we turn back to our true identity of who we are and where we come from, this is what you're going to get.
Like that. One more question, though. You feel like we got to take it, right? Do you believe in the Armageddon?
Yeah, I believe in it, but I also, more importantly, I believe in the Bible.